Welcome to my channel, Book 2 Fluent. Today I want to show you something very powerful. English is not only a language. English can slowly change the way your brain listens, thinks, speaks, remembers, and sees the world. Maybe right now you feel slow. Maybe you understand English, but when you try to speak, your mind becomes blank. Maybe you think your brain is weak, but stay with me till the end, because in this video, you will understand that your brain is not weak. Your brain is only waiting for the right English practice to wake up. Chapter 1. Your brain is not weak. It is learning a new path. Maybe you have said this sentence to yourself many times. My brain is weak. Maybe you listened to English and felt lost. Maybe you tried to speak one simple sentence, but your mind became empty. Maybe you learned a new word today, and tomorrow it disappeared from your memory. Then you looked at other people speaking English fast, and you thought, why can they do it, but I cannot? This feeling is very painful. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel behind. It makes you feel like English is only for clever people. But listen to this carefully. Your brain is not weak. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is not against you. Your brain is only learning a new path. And every new path feels difficult in the beginning. Think about a small field where nobody has walked before. The grass is high. The ground is rough. There is no clear road. If you walk through that field for the first time, it feels hard. Your feet move slowly. You do not know where to step. You may even feel tired after a few steps. But if you walk on the same place every day, something starts to happen. The grass becomes flat. The ground becomes clear. A small path appears. Then, after many days, walking there becomes easy. You do not need to think too much. Your feet know the way. This is exactly what happens inside your brain when you learn English. At first, English feels like a wild field. The sounds feel strange. The words feel far away. The grammar feels heavy. Speaking feels scary. But when you listen again, repeat again, speak again, and try again, your brain starts making an English path. This is the first powerful truth you must understand. Learning English is not only about books. It is not only about grammar. It is not only about memorizing long word lists. Learning English is brain training. Every time you hear an English sentence, your brain is working. Every time you repeat a sentence, your brain is working. Every time you try to say something, even if it is not perfect, your brain is working. You may think nothing is happening because you cannot see the change, but deep inside, your brain is building small connections. These connections are like tiny roads. At first, they are weak, but with practice, they become stronger. One day, the sentence that felt impossible becomes normal. One day, the word that you forgot again and again becomes easy. One day, the sound that confused you becomes clear. That day does not come by magic. It comes because your brain kept building the path quietly. Many English learners stop too early because they do not understand this. They practice for 2 days and say, nothing changed. They listen to one video and say, I still cannot understand. They speak one sentence badly and say, I am not made for English. But imagine if a child tried to walk one time, fell down, and then said, walking is not for me. That would sound funny, right? A child falls many times. A child stands again. A child walks slowly. A child makes mistakes. But nobody says the child is weak. Everyone knows the child is learning. You are the same. When you forget a word, you are not failing. When you make a mistake, you are not failing. When you speak slowly, you are not failing. You are building. You are training. You are growing. Your English brain is still young, and it needs care, time, and repetition. Here is a top moment you should remember forever. You are not failing. Your brain is under construction. This sentence can change the way you see yourself. When a building is under construction, it does not look beautiful at first. There is dust, there is noise, there are broken pieces. There are tools everywhere. But does that mean the building is useless? No. It means something strong is being made. Your English is also under construction. Your slow speaking is not shame. It is construction. Your mistakes are not shame. They are construction. Your confusion is not shame. It is construction. Every day you practice, one more brick is added. Every day you listen, one more wall becomes stronger. Every day you repeat, one more door opens in your mind. You may ask, but why do I understand English sometimes and still cannot speak? This is very common. It happens because understanding and speaking use different paths in the brain. Listening is one path. Speaking is another path. Reading is another path. Writing is another path. Maybe your listening path is becoming strong, but your speaking path is still small. That does not mean you are bad. It means you need to walk on the speaking path more often. If you want to speak, you must speak, even if your sentence is small. Even if your voice is low. Even if you make mistakes. Your brain learns speaking by speaking. Not by only thinking about speaking. Not by only watching others speak. Not by waiting until you are ready. The path becomes clear only when you walk on it. This is why small daily practice is so powerful. You do not need to study for 5 hours. You do not need to memorize a whole dictionary. You do not need to speak like a native speaker today. You only need to give your brain regular English. A little listening, a little repeating, a little speaking, a little thinking in English. If you do this every day, your brain starts to understand that English is not a stranger anymore. English becomes familiar. The brain loves familiar things. When something becomes familiar, fear becomes smaller. When fear becomes smaller, speaking becomes easier. When speaking becomes easier, confidence begins to grow. Let me give you a very simple example. The first time you hear the sentence, "I am learning English," maybe you understand it, but you do not feel it naturally. You need to think, you need to translate, you need to remember the words. But if you say this sentence every morning, "I am learning English," something changes. After 10 days, it feels easier. After 30 days, it feels natural. After many times, you do not need to translate it. Your brain accepts it as your own sentence. This is how English enters your mind. Not through pressure, not through fear, not through shame. English enters your brain through repetition, meaning, and daily use. And here's another important truth. Your brain learns better when your heart feels safe. If you are always angry with yourself, your brain becomes afraid. If you say, "I am stupid, I cannot learn, my English is bad," your brain feels pressure. And when the brain feels too much pressure, it cannot learn well. But when you say, "I am learning, I am improving, I can try again," your brain becomes open. It becomes ready. It becomes calm. This is why motivation is not only beautiful words. Motivation is fuel for the brain. A calm learner learns better than a frightened learner. A hopeful learner continues longer than a hopeless learner. So from today, do not call your brain weak. Speak to your brain like a teacher speaks to a beginner student. Say, "We are learning together." Say, "We will try again." Say, "One sentence is enough for today." This may sound simple, but it is powerful. Your brain listens to the words you repeat about yourself. If you keep saying, "I cannot speak," your brain starts believing it. But if you say, "I am learning to speak," your brain receives a new message. It starts looking for progress. It starts noticing small wins. It starts building confidence. The beginning is always the hardest part. When you are new, every sentence feels heavy. Your mouth feels uncomfortable. Your memory feels slow. Your listening feels weak. But this does not mean you are losing. It means your brain is entering a new world. A new world has new sounds, new patterns, new habits, new feelings. At first, your brain asks, "What is this?" But with time, it says, "I know this." Then one day, it says, "I can use this." That is the journey. Noise becomes sound. Sound becomes word. Word becomes sentence. Sentence becomes thought. Thought becomes speech. Speech becomes confidence. So stay with your journey. Do not judge your whole future by your first few steps. Do not think your slow English today is your final English. It is not final. It is only the first version. Your brain is changing every time you practice. Maybe you cannot feel it today. Maybe you cannot see it today, but it is happening. Every English word you hear leaves a small mark. Every sentence you repeat makes the path a little clearer. Every brave mistake teaches your brain something new. And remember this deeply. Your brain does not need perfect English to change. It needs repeated English. It needs simple English. It needs meaningful English. It needs your daily attention. So start small. Say one sentence. Repeat one line. Listen to one short story. Describe one thing around you. Tell yourself, "I am not weak. I am building my English brain." Because the moment you stop attacking yourself and start training yourself, English becomes lighter. The path becomes clearer, and your brain begins to change in a beautiful way. Chapter 2: English makes your brain faster at understanding. At first, English may sound very fast. You hear one sentence, but your brain catches only 2 or 3 words. You try to understand, but the speaker already moves to the next sentence. Then you feel behind. You feel nervous. You think, "Why can I read English but I cannot understand people when they speak?" But this problem is not because your brain is weak. It is because your brain is still learning the sound system of English. Reading is slow. You can stop. You can look again. But listening is moving. Listening is alive. So your brain needs time to become fast. When you listen to English again and again, your brain starts doing something amazing. It begins to recognize sounds. It begins to notice patterns. It begins to understand common sentences without too much effort. In the beginning, a sentence like, "What are you doing?" may sound like one fast sound. But after hearing it many times, your brain starts to separate it. It hears "what are you" and "doing." Then later it understands the full meaning quickly. This is not magic. This is training. Your brain is becoming faster because you are giving it more English sound. Many learners make one mistake. They think they must understand every word. So when they miss one word, they stop listening. They become worried. They feel bad. But real listening is not like that. You do not need to catch every word in the beginning. You need to catch the main idea. You need to let your brain stay with the sound. Even when you do not understand everything, your brain is still learning. It is collecting rhythm. It is collecting pronunciation. It is collecting sentence music. Slowly, English stops feeling like noise. It starts feeling familiar. Here is a powerful moment for you. Every minute you listen to English is not wasted. Even if you understand only a little, your brain is still changing. Maybe today you understand 20%. Tomorrow you understand 25%. After some days you understand more. This small growth becomes big growth. The same sentence that feels difficult today will feel easy later because your brain has heard it many times. So do not only study English with your eyes, train your ears too. Listen to simple English every day. Listen while walking. Listen before sleeping. Listen when you are alone. Repeat small sentences after the speaker. Let your brain hear English like a normal part of life, because when your ears become strong, your understanding becomes faster. And when understanding becomes faster, speaking also becomes easier. Your brain starts preparing the words before you even translate them. That is when English begins to feel natural. Chapter 3: English changes the way you think. Most English learners have one hidden problem. They do not only struggle with words, they struggle with the way their brain moves. First, they think in their own language. Then they search for the English word. Then they try to fix the grammar. Then they try to speak. But by that time, the moment is gone. The other person is waiting. The learner becomes nervous. The mind becomes blank. And then the learner says, "I cannot speak English." But the real problem is not speaking. The real problem is translating too much inside the brain. When you practice English every day, your brain slowly starts changing this habit. It begins to connect English directly with life. This is very powerful. For example, when you see a glass of water, your brain does not need to travel through your first language every time. It can simply say, "Water." When you open the door, your brain can say, "I am opening the door." When you feel tired, your brain can say, "I am tired." These are small sentences, but they are not small for your brain. They are new English thoughts. And every English thought is like one small light turning on inside your mind. This is how English changes your thinking. It teaches your brain to see the world through new words. Before, you saw your room and thought only in your own language. But now you look around and say, "This is my table. This is my phone. I am sitting. I am learning. I am improving." You are not only naming things. You are training your brain to move in English. You are teaching your mind that English is not only a school subject. English is a living voice inside you. And here is the beautiful truth. You do not need advanced English to think in English. You do not need long sentences. You do not need perfect grammar. You only need simple sentences connected to your real life. When you wake up, say in your mind, "I am awake." When you wash your face, say, "I am washing my face." When you eat breakfast, say, "I am eating breakfast." When you feel happy, say, "I feel happy." When you feel nervous, say, "I feel nervous, but I can try." These small thoughts are like daily exercise for your English brain. Many learners wait for big confidence before they start thinking in English. But confidence comes after practice, not before practice. If you think one small sentence today, your brain becomes a little braver. If you think 10 small sentences tomorrow, your brain becomes faster. If you continue for 1 month, English starts feeling closer. This is the moment when you begin to feel something new. You do not always translate. You sometimes understand directly. You sometimes answer faster. You sometimes feel English before you explain it. That is a real brain change. The top moment of this chapter is simple, but powerful. The day you stop translating every sentence is the day English starts becoming part of your brain. This does not mean translation will disappear in one day. No, it slowly becomes less. At first, you translate every word, then you translate only difficult sentences, then common sentences come naturally. Then one day, you say something simple without thinking too much. And after speaking, you smile because you realize, I did not translate that. That small moment can give you big confidence. So from today, do not wait for a classroom. Do not wait for a speaking partner. Do not wait for perfect grammar. Start with your own mind. Walk in your room and name things in English. Look at your actions and describe them in English. Feel your emotions and say them in English. Think small. Think simply. Think daily. Because speaking is only thinking out loud. If your brain can think simple English, your mouth can speak simple English. And once your thoughts begin to move in English, your whole English journey becomes lighter, faster, and more natural. Chapter 4. English builds stronger memory and confidence. Many English learners say, I learn words, but I forget them. They feel excited in the beginning. They write new words in a notebook. They read them many times. But after 1 or 2 days, the words disappear. Then they feel sad and think, my memory is weak. But this is not true. Your memory is not weak. Your brain only remembers what you use again and again. A word alone is easy to forget, but a word inside a sentence becomes easier to remember. For example, do not only learn the word happy, use it in your life. Say, I am happy today. This song makes me happy. I feel happy when I learn English. Now the word has meaning. Now the word has emotion. Now the word has a place in your brain. This is how English becomes memory. Your brain loves connection. When you connect a word with your daily life, your brain says, this is useful, keep it. But when you only memorize a list, your brain says, why do I need this? So use English with your actions, feelings, and real moments. If you are drinking tea, say, I am drinking tea. If you are walking, say, I am walking slowly. If you are tired, say, I am tired, but I will continue. These simple sentences train your memory. And slowly, memory becomes confidence. When you remember useful sentences, you feel safer. When you feel safer, you speak more. When you speak more, your brain remembers more. This becomes a beautiful circle. Practice gives memory. Memory gives confidence. Confidence gives more practice. Here is the top moment. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes after many small speaking attempts. So do not wait until you feel ready. Speak 1 sentence today. Repeat 1 sentence tonight. Use 1 new word in your real life. Your brain will remember what you live, not only what you study. And every small sentence you use is building a stronger, braver English brain. Chapter 5. English opens a new version of you. When you started this video, maybe you thought English was only a subject. Maybe you thought English was only grammar, vocabulary, listening, speaking, and exams. But now you can see something deeper. English is not only changing your words. English is changing your brain. It is changing the way you listen. It is changing the way you understand. It is changing the way you think. It is changing the way you remember. And slowly, very slowly, it is changing the way you see yourself. This is the most beautiful part of learning English. In the beginning, you may feel like a weak learner. You may feel shy. You may feel afraid to speak. You may feel that other people are better than you. But with every small practice, something inside you becomes stronger. One day, you say a sentence without translating. One day, you remember a word because you used it in your own life. One day, you speak even when your voice is not perfect. These moments look small from outside, but inside your brain, they are big victories. English opens a new version of you because it gives you a new voice. Maybe before you had thoughts, dreams, and ideas, but you could not express them in English. You wanted to say something, but the words were not ready. You wanted to join a conversation, but fear stopped you. You wanted to answer, but your mind became blank. But when English becomes part of your brain, your voice slowly comes out. You begin to say, I can try. You begin to say, I can explain this. You begin to say, I am not perfect, but I am improving. This is not only language growth, this is personal growth. Think about your future for a moment. Maybe English can help you get a better job. Maybe it can help you study better. Maybe it can help you understand videos, books, podcasts, and people from different countries. Maybe it can help you travel with more confidence. Maybe it can help you speak in interviews. Maybe it can help you teach others. Maybe it can help you build a new life online. But before English opens those outside doors, it must open one inside door first, the door of belief. You must believe that your brain can change. You must believe that your English can grow. You must believe that the person you are today is not the final version of you. This is why you should never laugh at your small English. Small English is powerful. A small sentence can begin a big change. I am learning. I can speak. I will try again. I made a mistake, but I will continue. These sentences may look simple, but they train your brain to believe in progress. They teach your mind not to stop. They teach your heart not to give up. And when you repeat these sentences with action, they become part of your identity. You are no longer only a person who studies English. You become a person who lives with English. And here is the top moment of this final chapter. One day, the English that feels difficult today will feel normal. One day, the sentence that scares you today will come out naturally. One day, you will listen to English and smile because you understand more than before. One day, you will speak a simple sentence and feel proud because you did not stop. And on that day, you will understand that your brain was changing quietly every day. Even when you felt slow, even when you felt tired, even when you thought nothing was happening, something was happening. Your brain was building your English future. So do not wait for perfect English. Perfect English is not the beginning. Practice is the beginning. Do not wait for confidence. Confidence is not the beginning. Action is the beginning. Do not wait for the right time. The right time is the moment you decide to start again. Listen a little every day. Speak a little every day. Think a little in English every day. Use simple sentences every day. This is how English becomes natural. This is how your brain becomes faster. This is how your confidence becomes stronger. Your brain is not fixed. Your level is not fixed. Your future is not fixed. You can change. You can grow. You can become better. The English learner who feels shy today can become the English speaker of tomorrow. The person who is afraid today can become the person who speaks with courage. The mind that translates slowly today can become the mind that thinks in English naturally. But you must keep going. You must give your brain the practice it needs. You must trust the small steps. If this video gave you hope, then subscribe to this channel, because here we learn English with simple words, strong motivation, and real practice. Like this video if you believe your brain can change. And comment below, "My brain is learning English." Write this sentence today, because it is not just a comment, it is your promise to yourself. Keep listening, keep speaking, keep trying. Your English brain is already waking up.